here's another League of Legends game coming your way, this time in the form of a post-game commentary slash analysis type thing as Nunu in the jungle. Now, I do have the live game for this one recorded. I'll probably splice in pieces of it here and there. Well, probably just the beginning and ending. But the reason why I'm doing this one in the form of a post-game type thing is because there's so much strange crap that goes on here. I actually want to see what they're doing myself. In case you're wondering, the enemy team does Meltdown, and since I wanted to see it, I figure, hey, you guys might want to see what exactly induced the Meltdown, but it wasn't really worth watching. Usually for these types of games where they melt down like that, I don't upload them anyway, but this one is a little different just because of how strange it is. So anyway, Nunu bot in the jungle. If you don't know how he works, your passive is Visionary. After your 5 auto attacks, your next spell is free to use, and it's empowered to its next rank. So if stuff is rank 5, it actually will be counted as a rank 6. You'll see this come into play a few times with my Consume. So Q is Consume, you basically target an enemy. It has to be like a minion or monster, no champions allowed, I'm afraid. But this does include Ivern's pets, Mal's pet, Annie pet, etc. That's why I love to take Nunu against Ivern. He can counter jungle just as well as Ivern to basically offset the pressure. He can do it really fast once you get some points in Q. And then when the team fight starts, you can instantly smite and consume Daisy, and that's it. Ivern's out an ult for your Q. So right here I start W. Draven taking too long, unfortunately, is going to set me back. And he dropped his Q anyway. So anyway, going back to this, once you consume something, you deal a chunk of true damage to it and you heal yourself for a flat amount with some AP scaling. The true damage does not scale in any way other than rank. Then you also have the passive effect of whenever you bite something, you get movement speed, max health for 55 seconds. I don't actually know how this scales exactly, but it stacks up to 5 times. And the whole recently consumed monsters thing, that's referring to camps like the wolves, how if you eat one wolf, you don't get a bonus for eating another wolf. Because otherwise the jungle camps take so long to spawn that the limit doesn't really apply. W is Blood Boil. This is my favorite move to start with Nunu, assuming you're getting a leash. If you're not getting a leash, then go Consume. So Blood Boil is you can either target an enemy, or target an ally, target yourself, or etc. If you target an ally, you get to choose who gets the steroid. If not, then it's just the nearest guy near you, and if there's no one there, then no one gets it. But anyway, this gives you a surge of movement speed and attack speed. This helps you stack up your Visionary, and it's a really nice move for Nunu. If you're going to play him more in a utility style, I do recommend maxing the Blood Boil. It's just this game, I do need to go for the Ice Blast. And on that topic, E is Ice Blast, and right here you're going to see Consume in action. So we see Lee on my ward. So right there, Smite and Consume, I get to steal it, I get to smack him upside the head, and then I'm on my way. Simple and straightforward, right? So Yi went back really early. You can see that he started with a Duran shield. I really don't know what was going on with him, if he had connection problems or what exactly. But right here I can see, this is going to be confusing for me with Yi and Lee. But with Lee in the area, I don't want to go too far. I figured he was probably going to come over here and try to counter jungle this. So that's why I wanted to wait until Consume was up to kill the big one, so I can just take it out with more damage than Smite can deal. In case you're wondering, yes, Consume will eventually outdamage Smite when you use the rank 6 form. Rank 5, it's equal to Smite at level 18. So going back to your E, Ice Blast, you basically target an enemy, launch a snowball at them, it does some damage, it slows their movement speed and attack speed. This is why Nunu can support. And I don't mean the whole Smite Nunu support, but on this channel you will see Nunu support games. And like that move screws over 80 carries so freaking hard. So right there is strange move number 2. I didn't really know what was going on with E. He tunneled on me, and yeah, I can just hit the blast cone and walk away. I don't have a way to interrupt his meditate, which is why I don't want to pick a fight with him right now. But otherwise, once he does, well, once I hit level 6 and he meditates, I'm just going to ult. If he doesn't actually get out of meditate and run, then I'm just going to nuke him once he does get out. And on the topic of the nuke with level 6, funny how these are all segueing into one another. But Absolute Zero. So you channel for up to 3 seconds, sapping the area of heat, basically slowing everything down. They lose movement speed and attack speed. And it rises the longer you channel. So when the channel ends, you blast everything there, and the amount of damage depends on how long it channeled. This is the single hardest hitting move in the game if you go AP Nunu and basically just allow this to fully channel. The only ones who can surpass that are the infinite scaling guys, such as I don't think Scion's shield scales in terms of damage, just how big the shield is. But otherwise, Thresh with a certain number of souls, I don't know when he caps out at, but Vagar with stacks, Nessus with stacks, and so on. So anyway, I'm trying to keep an eye on the minimap. We can see Yi over here since there's a ward, so I'm kind of wondering, is he seriously going to go for that? And you can see that Yi is more interested in trying to jungle, I guess, instead of actually play. Right here I want to intercept him, but we can see Lee and LeBlanc surrounding me, so I had to peace out. So as a consolation prize, I decided to help myself to a Scuttle Crab. So it's low enough to where I can just smite it. Lee connects with his Q, but he decides not to follow up. It's really up to him. He wasn't getting me, but it's just how much time he wanted to waste. And this is not me taunting, this is actually Nunu bot's recall animation. So anyway, on that back I had 1100 gold. I should mention we had some lane swaps here, which is why I was at the bottom. So right there you can see I had 1900 gold, well I have 1900 gold, but I had 1400 when I went back, so I buy a Cinder and I buy boots. So my goal here is to fit into this team comp, I need to be the team tank. They don't really have one, and that can give us an edge. But otherwise, beyond that, Mordekaiser, Orianna, and Draven are all immobile, so my Blood Boil is extremely valuable here because I can give them movement speed, and that may make the difference. In case you're wondering, Xayah and Taric are also immobile, so that really does matter. I was kind of hoping I could insta-give the clone, but yeah. So I have potential to kill her here, I just have to basically flash after her and then fire my E. It's just, I wasn't really sure this would deal enough damage, even with the visionary bonus, so I decided not to waste my smite. I can just go ahead and consume a minion to offset all the damage I took, and just go back to farming in the meantime. In case you're wondering, I don't really get to troll Lee hard, but you'll see what I do that causes Xayah to blow over top. So anyway, since Ori is doing so poorly, I'm not giving her blue, but by taking blue myself, I'll have a lower cooldown on consume, so basically we're at 9 seconds. Now I can go help myself to the dragon. But unfortunately, here, Xayah just hit 6. I didn't know this. I thought she used her ult on Draven and them, and Soraka. So as soon as she did that, I realized there's nothing I can do. I have to get out of here. I was pretty pissed off at Draven and Soraka because they were kind of annoying in Champion Select, and then they die straight up, no jungler intervention, without Xayah ulting. Yeah. So is my consolation prize, Dragon Time. So right here I want to pull it out just in case Lee jumps in the pit. I wasn't exactly sure where he was just yet. You can see where he is though, and once I see him here I know I have Dragon. So you want to stack up Visionary and then use the spell because that causes it to rank up. So your consume will deal around 820 damage. So unfortunately I can't consume this, but I can smite it. And here is the one really awkward moment. We need to get over here. So look at its bar here. They were cursing at each other in all chat over this. You can see the pings. Like, I don't know if I want to call this game a circus or a train wreck. Yep. So anyway, back to me. So I have rank 6, or I'm level 6, so I have my ult. I can go ahead and help myself to the wolf camp, and I'm confused with what's going on here, so I'm just rolling with the punches at this point. So right there with the red buff, I now have regen. I have a slow when I auto-attack an enemy. I can basically just chain slow between my Ice Blast and my auto-attack. The one thing that does kind of suck is I think when Nunu got his passive buffed, the cooldown on his E was increased by a few seconds, because you could pretty much keep someone indefinitely slowed with your Ice Blast. The hard part about that, though, is just its mana cost. It costs 70 right now. If you look at my mana pool, I could use it 7 times without Visionary giving me a free cast. So yes, unfortunately we're at the 10-minute mark and I'm still 0-0-0. The only thing I really have to show for myself is the Infernal Drake. But that is about to change. So right here I was thinking they were trying to bait something, and I didn't want to go too far away from Morde in case he needed my help. Just kind of figuring if I go ahead and take the chickens, I can go ahead and get back if needed. You can see Soraka missed the ult. Draven died before it went off. In case you're wondering, Draven's cursing at her now in chat. Huh. So I was kind of wondering what happened there, if she saw me or what. By the way, if you want to know what happened, Tarek tower dove Soraka under this tower. She used her E, Q, and exhaust, and he got minion blocked. He was completely surrounded here, so he had to sit there and die. Brutal, I know. So anyway, I now have my completed Cinderhulk. I went for Blue Smite this game because I figure I might be able to kite E once his Highlander is down. Plus, Xayah, Tarek are immobile. This is the only land I'm really interested in ganking. Mordekaiser is about to just completely obliterate E to the point where E can't get back in here, and a large part of that is just due to the strange roams he made. So hopefully if you guys are watching this and you're interested in playing E top, do not do what this guy is doing. So yeah, I'm at 820 true damage. With Visionary it's 1000 damage, and then once I hit the rank 6 Visionary bonus Q, then it does 1180. Right here I was thinking it was probably a pink ward. Apparently it was completely unwarded, but the minions spot me. So Xayah is too far forward. So I consume a minion for health. I give Draven the Blood Boil, and I want to stick to Xayah. If I keep Ice Blasting her, she loses her movement speed, she loses her attack speed, and then she becomes stacks. Well, she ceases to be stacks for Draven. So right there, a double kill for him, and that puts him in a very strong position. So if you notice, Xayah is 5-1. That pretty much closed any sort of gold disparity between them. So you can see with those, it's 100 gold now. Before that, it was approximately 800. So right there I helped myself to blue, and I figure LeBlanc was on her way down, so I want to try to intercept her. I'm really just a ball of HP at this point. I don't really have much for defenses. I don't have any items. But the thing is, I want to get Blood Boil to Draven, and I want to get first tower here. Our Mordekaiser got it already, so never mind. So right here is when Xayah starts spamming the F word, well, F words in all chat. All I can say is, this is actually a normal Thursday game for me, believe it or not. This is why I hate playing on Thursdays. It's possibly a little bit worse right now because kids are out for summer. They're playing in the mornings. It's just, wow. So anyway, I steal Lee's red buff. That's pretty much all I really do for counter jungling, I'm afraid. Basically, I'm just trying to get in position for the coming dragon. It should be a cloud dragon, I believe. They don't really tell me here. So Ori's afraid to lane. I decided to try to tank LeBlanc's Thunderlords. Since I heal with my consume, I really don't mind tanking that. I even have red buff healing, so yeah. It's really no sweat for me. The main thing to point out though is if you look at my EXP bar down here, I am not close to level 10, but I still have the maxed consume. The reason why level 10 would be significant is I could get another point in Blood Boil or Ice Blast and possibly take the dragon a little bit faster. But anyway, I have 1600 gold, so I want to get a Glacial Shroud, and I help myself to 2 cloth armors. Due to the Lee, the Yi, and the Xayah, I plan on going Ninja Tabi, and I also wanted Frozen Heart. So we're going to skip over to bot lane. Soraka will do. So you can see Morde is just pushing in the top. They don't have an answer to him anymore. In case you're wondering if that means Morde is OP, he's pretty solid, but he's hard to play. So don't go thinking just because he's doing that you can do it just as easily. It's pretty rough. So anyway, there goes Tarek with his ult. Meanwhile, Ori and I are soloing, well, duoing Dragon. So, in case you didn't notice what happened there, I timed my smite with my auto attack, and I think it was just the red buff proc to solo it from that. Well, not solo, just to spike it from that point. So right here is Judgment Day for LeBlanc. So she fails her flash, and I'm just keeping her perma-slowed. Notice I couldn't see her in that brush, I just had to guess that she was at the periphery. So I pop that. Right here I smite an auto attacker, and there we go, we get her shut down. Remember that her one death is to the blue buff or the gromp or something? So that's technically her first death to us. And to celebrate that, I decided, you know what, let's go mid. I'll give my Blood Boil to Ori because I think she deals a little bit more damage even though she's really far behind. And then we can go help ourselves to the tower. However, I did not want to fight E here because I didn't know what all they had and didn't have in terms of summoner spells. Like, I didn't also know if a Highlander was up. When it is down, I can really make E miserable. When it's up, he can pretty much ignore me for the most part. My objective in the fights is just try to zone him like I did for Kennen in that one little Nunu clip. So right there I did consume on that to help him get it. Keep in mind, I could have stolen it if I just auto-attacked. I was holding the S key to make sure that didn't happen. And Cinderhulk will not kill the big camps on its own. You have to actually auto-attack it or use a spell. So that's why I got reduced down to 1 hit point, in case you're wondering. So right here, Draven wants Rift Herald. I'm cool with it. So this is not too hard to solo these days, but it's even easier for Nunu because of the whole Blood Boil and Consume. So I'm cool with just taking it. You can see I'm not even taking damage because of Consume. And once it gets low, I don't really care about the eye. I can just consume it, give Draven the Herald. And this is pretty bad for the enemy team. We now have the gold lead with everything that's transpired. And I was looking for Lee over here. So I don't know if he was holding on to his ult to answer mine, but... Splat! That's why I like Infinity Edge, folks. So right here I did want to tower dive LeBlanc. So right there my Cinderhulk burned her, I used my smite, my E. Basically I'm trying to get her to burn everything she has, and then we can either just push in or just flat out kill her. One of the two. And I can't stress enough that Draven freaking hurts. So keep in mind I'm spamming Blood Boil this entire time on Draven. So that's how I got the assist here. Draven summoned the Herald. Like I said, I'm keeping Blood Boil on him since he's pretty fed, as is Morde, but I think he's more so with an IE and a BF sword. So he gets a better return, I want to say. So right here, Xayah, I wasn't sure what she was doing, so I just smite her like the minion she is. As for Yi, I thought I actually hit him some, but apparently not. So no assist for me, I'm afraid. Anyway, the Herald helped us take the inhibitor, and then we can use it to go ahead and pressure these. So I gave Blood Boil to Draven, hence the assist once again. And here we lose more, but I help them and she pays the price. So sadly the Herald finally bit the dust. But at this point it really doesn't matter. I'm still giving the Blood Boil to Draven just so he can hit them, make their lives miserable. And yeah, just go ahead and take the base and we are done. Sub 20-minute win. Smite Yi like the minion he is. So I went 3-0-7 in the end. I only really have a Cinderhulk for a completed item. In terms of gold, if you want to see, I'm sitting on 3,300 at this point. And I'll cut to the end of game stats here. In case you're wondering what I'm using for runes and masteries, I'll try to splice that in. That should have been spliced in at the beginning, I'll put it that way. So yeah, strange game. What else is there to say? I'm the hero of light. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.